Outside the Miller home in Southeast Dallas, you can see Rory still flashing the dimples his mother gave him.
It seems like everything still happened yesterday.
Ebony and her family were fast asleep one night in January of 2020.
On that night, I think, and this is just by my theory, I think what happened is the person may have stepped through here.
Someone fired into the side of the house, aiming, police say, for their beds.
He went from room to room to room. I got hit by 5 of them.
By the time Rory's family reached his room, the 1-year-old was dead.
I am angry, and this has to stop in this city.
In the midst of a spike in violent crime, city leaders expressed outrage and a determination to bring the killer to justice.
Did you think at that point, like, they're going to get whoever did this?
Yes, I did. I really did. Then they just disappeared.
2.5 years later, there's still been no arrest.
I feel like they have forgot about them.
Rory was one of 236 people killed in Dallas that year. Police report they solved more than 3/4 of those cases, a murder clearance rate far higher than the national average.
Nationally, though, police success rates have been sinking. When the CBS News Innovation Lab dug into the FBI's trove of data, we found something striking. The likelihood of a murder being solved is significantly lower when the victim is Black or Hispanic.
In fact, the homicide clearance rate nationally for white victims has improved over time, while the rate for Black victims has fallen. In 2020, the year Rory died, there was a 28% difference.
That doesn't surprise you.
It doesn't.
In the Bonton neighborhood, most residents are Black or Hispanic. Fewer than 6% identify as white. And Ebony feels police, city leaders, and the media take the violent crime here for granted.
I feel like they would just put it as if, hey, it's just another thing in the hood.
Even as victims, she and her brother Jalen felt under suspicion.
Of course, being a young Black man, was he in a gang? What was the mother doing? Who was she talking to?
In an interview with CBS News, former Dallas Police Chief Renee Hall said a victim's race doesn't affect detectives' efforts.
Every homicide is given the same level of attention.
There's no backing off in neighborhoods of color.
Not to my experience, not that I would have seen.
UT Dallas professor Tim Bray, a former deputy chief for the Illinois State Police, says some murders are simply easier to solve.
But let's say one group in the population is much more likely to have a homicide or an assault that occurs between intimate partners, known family members, or business dealings.
There is another obstacle.
Why do you think police are less likely to solve the murder of a Black person?
I think that there are a lot of factors here. Some of it is the apprehension.
Hesu Robo Enabakare chairs the Community Police Oversight Board. In minority communities, he says witnesses are less likely to come forward with information.
You have some reasonable mistrust here. Black men and women that are killed by the police. Couple that with the slower response times of calls in the Black community.
But he sees signs of progress in cities like Dallas.
What do you think Dallas police are doing right?
Chief Garcia really is going out into the community and listening. When you feel as though you've been heard, you're more likely to be able to establish trust.
It's not just police trying to repair relationships.
I broke the law. I broke the law.
Marcus Estelle spent 13 years behind bars for aggravated robbery.
Go home, man, to your family. Stop thugging out here.
He's now dedicated to promoting peace in underserved neighborhoods.
The people in the urban community see the police as takers, that when they come into the community, they're taken. All they see is you're taking your life, you're taking your freedom, or they're taking your cars, they take. So therefore, there comes a code of silence against them.
Regardless of who's to blame, he says it's Black and Hispanic communities that suffer, and he argues they need to be part of the solution.
Somebody be accountable and stop the action. You know what I mean? Because we're dying. We're dying.
It's also how we was raised, like snitches, get stitches.
Ebony is convinced there are people who know who killed her son.
I feel like they have to know. They have to know something.
One day, she's confident she will get answers. For now, she's focused on moving forward.
A lot of people tell me all the time, I thought you was going to lose your mind.
They thought you would fall apart.
They thought I would fall apart.
Ebony went back to school and became a pediatric nurse. Jalen graduated too and started his own business.
What kept you from falling apart? Rory.
She feels him still very much present in their lives. His memory, she says, gives them strength to defy all expectations. In Dallas, Andrea Lucia, CBS 11 News.